Hey guys, today I'm working on my 1981 Chevy C10 Custom Deluxe truck again. So today's video, I am making it cooler. So what am I going to do that? The exhaust is too quiet. So I'm going to try to figure out exhaust for it. The wheels are plain Jane steel wheels. I'm going to figure out some different wheels for it, purchase some tires for it. And although I don't know if I can do the tires in this video, we'll see. I got to figure something out. Come to find out, I got to go to work on Monday, and I'm supposed to be picking up my tires on Monday. So I'm gonna have to go by the tire shop and say I won't be in until like Thursday. So anyhow, what else can I do? Lower it some. I'm gonna show you the correct way to lower it and then the incorrect way to lower it. That's my plan, guys. So exhaust. I got to figure out mufflers, some headers right up there. Let me get a chair. Whoops. Alright, so I've got some old block hugger headers right here that I ordered from Speedway. They're probably going to work perfect. I'm hoping they'll work perfect on this truck. So now I got to go find some mufflers. I've got some used mufflers around, but I don't know if they're going to match. So I'm going to go run to the store because I'm going to need to get some parts. What kind of parts did I need? I can't remember, but I'm going to the parts store anyways. And then I'm going to go to my old shop because he's going to let me use the lift, and we're going to get this exhaust taken care of first thing. Oh yeah, I need to lower. I know what I'm going to the store for now. All right, see y'all at the store. See y'all at the shop. So I'm back at a familiar place. If y'all are OG, y'all have seen the old shop that I used to work in. Russell's kind enough to let me use the shop. I'm gonna put my truck up in the air and we're gonna get a look underneath for the first time. So I'm gonna set up the lift and pick up the camera after the truck is up in the air. No. So I'm gonna set up the lift and the truck's gonna go up in the air. All right, I got the truck up in the air. Let's get a look at the underneath. Let's start at the back. So these right here are the shackles I'm going to be replacing. I'm going to have to notch the bed out. I'm going to have to cut this and this so the shackle can go above it. So the bed is going to have to be modified. The spare tire is no good, no air in it. The bumper supports, there's not much to them. You sure don't want to get rear-ended on this thing. There's not a lot of protection there. Rear end, tiny leak, but it shouldn't be low. The underneath of this bed is immaculate. It's perfect. There's what we're replacing right there. We're getting rid of that there muffler. So I'm going to be putting dual exhaust on it.
Fecal matter spontaneously occurs.
Boss is talking crap over there.
Fecal matter spontaneously occurs.
Good news on the front, we have some spacers that are put in to lift. I'm going to be taking those spacers out. I was planning on lowering the front by heating up the spring with a torch, but I might not have to. See, the torch method is something you should never do to a spring. But I was going to show y'all what not to do. And probably don't have to show you what not to do on this one. She's pretty oily underneath, but I think it's a pretty darn good looking truck. What do y'all think? What do you think?
I think it's not too bad for a Chevrolet.
Don't listen to him, guys. He drives a Ford. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And I don't want to just piss off the Ford guys. I need to go ahead and piss off the Dodge guys. At least it's not a Dodge.
It's not a Mercedes. I drive Mercedes.
Yeah. At least it's not a Honda. You know, Toyotas, I mean, thank God it's not a Toyota. Yeah. I mean,
Toyota.
I don't ever want to not work on something. Yeah. She's up. All right, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is start with the exhaust, because the shop across the street has agreed to let me use their bender and their pipe, so I got to take advantage of that. So I'm going to be cutting out or getting some pieces of pipe with some bends, and hopefully dual exhaust is going to be pretty easy. Wow. I'm not real fond of their okay. They're cross member. The exhaust goes above this side, but it'd have to go below this. So let me see what I got here. I got those little shackles here, but I'm not worried about that. I've got this muffler. I'm trying out the Rumble exhaust, which looks just like a Flowmaster. It's built just like a Flowmaster, but it was $59 rather than, actually with my discount it was $50 a piece rather than $100 a piece like the Flowmaster. So I'm going to give these a try. And then I've got, let's open this up, I've got some Block Hugger headers. You know, everything sounds better with a set of headers on. So if I'm going to have a slow truck because of a 305, I want it to sound good. Here we go. Oh wow, it even comes with the header bolts. It comes with the gasket. Wow, this is great. Collector gasket. Wow, I hope all the bolts are in here. And it even comes with directions. We don't need no stinking directions. Where's my collectors? Little puny collectors. Yeah. So let me look and make sure we got all the header bolts, because I'm gonna need them. Do it the hard way.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Listen to the boss, guys. Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Those are the only instructions you need to know.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty. A man with lots of knowledge.
Huh?
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Exactly. That would be fine. Nice. So guys, I guess I'm done with the truck here, because the exhaust pipe supplier where I get my pipe from, they only have one stick and I need two. So I'm not going to be doing the exhaust on this truck, but I will point out what I'm doing. So I'm going to have shorty headers coming down. I would need two 90 degrees to come, one back here from this side. The other pipe is going to go above like this one. So I got one pipe coming above, one below, and I'm going to have a muffler here and a muffler here right at the back of the cab, and have some turn downs right at the rear end here. So since I can't do the exhaust, I'm going to do the shackles to lower the back of the truck, and I can do that at my shop. I don't need a lift for that. So I'm going to lower this truck down and load my stuff up and go to my shop. So I'll see y'all there. All right, guys, I made it back to the shop. I'm going to be working on the truck in here. Unfortunately, there's going to be no exhaust run on this thing in this video, but I'll probably do some polishing up on the paint. I want to lower this truck down just a scotch, and which will require removing those little corkscrew aluminum pieces used to raise the front of the truck in the springs. I'm going to be removing those, and I'm going to be notching the bed on the back and installing those shackles. Now, the bed is not perfect by any means. Underneath it looked great, but I've got lots of Bondo in the quarter of this truck. I don't know if you can see right there. Let me see. Don't know if you can see how rough it is. It is awful. Got lots of Bondo here. Got some Bondo here. It's got some rust holes there. It's not perfect, so notching the bed, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. So let's get busy on. I'm gonna measure the ride height of the truck first. I'm going to measure the ride height, and then I'm going to remove those pieces and lower the back, and then I will check I'll recheck the ride height. So, got my tape measure here. So right here, I'm going to keep the same wheels. I've got 31 3/4 on the front right. On the front left, I've got 31 and just over a quarter. 31 and just over a quarter. There's a ½ an inch difference, which it could be the floor. Could be the floor. So the rear right is 32 1/4. 32 1/4 on the rear right. And the rear left is 31 1/4. So we're going to be rechecking these measurements as soon as I get the pieces out, and I know lowering the back will affect the front maybe just a tiny bit, so I'm going to go do both jobs before I remeasure the the height. So I'm gonna write these measurements down and then start that time lapse on lowering this truck. Alright, so I got the shackles in the rear, I've got the spacers out of the front, cranked it up and there's a loud noise in the cab. So I'm going to move this forward a little bit and backwards. So the idea is you let the truck settle. Okay. Gonna cut it off, and now I'm gonna measure everything. So I wrote everything down. So the front left is 31 1/4, front right is 31 3/4, rear left 31 1/4, and rear right 32 1/4. Let us measure. So the front left is now 30 1/2. So I dropped the front left 3/4 of an inch. Let's check the front right. That's 31 3/4. "31 inches. So another 3/4 of an inch on the front. So I've dropped the front 3/4 of an inch. That's not quite enough. Rear left, it should be lower than 31 1/4. "31 1/4, huh? How about 29 1/2? So 1 1/2 inches. Dang it, I only dropped it 1 1/2 inches on the rear. So the rear right should be lower than 32 1/4. Let's see, 32 1/4. "32 1/4. It is now 30 1/2. So that one's like an inch. An inch and a quarter? Okay. Let's see what the, so I dropped the rear 1 1/4 inch only. Let's see what the box says. So it says 1 to 2 inch drop to rear of vehicle. And I put it on the lowest setting, which I was hoping would be a 2 inch drop. 1 1/4 inch. Hey, at least it's 1 to 2 inches like it said. So, well, so I think what I'm gonna do next is I'll put the wheels on it and see what the wheels look like. And if they look terrible, I'll lower it some more by removing one of the lowest leaves on the spring. And the front, I'll show you how not to lower the front. All right, well, I've got to get to the hospital. I've got to take my dad some dinner at the cancer center because he doesn't like the hospital food. So maybe I'll get more on this tomorrow. I don't know. So we'll see. All right, guys, off to the hospital. So I wasn't counting on it raining today. So I've got the truck lowered. It's looking pretty good. I'm stealing the wheels off my hearse. They really need cleaned up. I'm not driving the hearse, but like, you know, a month or two out of the year, and it's a shame to let these wheels and tires just sit here going to waste. The tires are actually starting to dry rot, and they're not even worn out. So I'm gonna put it on my truck and put some miles on them. So I gotta jack up my hearse and snatch the tires off of it. So more time lapse. So I'm so happy with the transformation of this truck. It is looking awesome. I'm loving the look of it. I could go a little bit lower on the front, but for the time being, I like it as is for the time being. It's looking great. Oh man, I'm loving this truck. So I've got a bunch of things I got to do. So I'm taking the rest of the day off, paying my bills and all that stuff, and visiting my dad in the hospital. So that's it for this video, guys. I appreciate y'all watching. Next video on this truck, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to be, but it's going to be dual exhaust, and I might lower it a touch more. I don't know, we'll see. You know, I'm just going to get the videos when I can, because it's time is really hard right now to come across. So I'm just going to do what I can when I can. So guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all later. Love this truck. Oh yeah, and for those of y'all that were wondering about the 1981 tag, in North Carolina, it is legal to have a vintage tag on your vintage vehicle. Now it's got to be a certain age, which this one is like It's a 1981, so it's 42 years old or something like that. It falls into this category, so I'm able to run a vintage tag as long as the tag that's registered to the truck is inside of the vehicle with the registration. So that's how I can get away with running 1981 tags. That's it. Later, guys.